I'm Jackson, and I'm playing Fletcher.
I'm Hannah, and I'm playing Lexi.
I'm LG, and I'm playing Paisley.
I'm Sammy, and I'm playing China.
I'm JQ, and I'm playing Professor Grundy.
And this is Ant Farm.
Hi, I'm Louise, and we're going to be talking about our TV show scene today, and I'll be introducing you to it. In this episode, at least, it's the holiday season, which can only mean one thing: Secret Santa. A little bit of chaos, but mostly just gifts and surprises, and some communication lessons are a big part of that. Before we jump into our scene, let's talk about the show. If you've never seen Ant Farm, think of it as like Glee meets The Sweet Life, with a big focus on super quirky talent and middle school. The show follows a group of super gifted kids enrolled in an advanced natural talents program, which is where the abbreviation ANT comes from in the show title. Leading the way is 11-year-old China Parks, who is a musical genius with really big dreams and also a very big personality. Her best friends are Olive and Fletcher, and her professor is Mr. Grundy. China navigates the everyday awkwardness of being a really smart kid in a world that's not always ready for that. The humor is super quick, the characters are lovable, and the dialogue is really interesting from a communication perspective. In the episode Silent Night, the students are taking part in a big Secret Santa gift exchange, and like any good holiday sitcom moment, things don't exactly go according to plan. Some gifts are awesome, and some maybe are not so awesome, but what really stands out is not who gives what, it's how they talk to each other while doing it. In this scene, we're going to look beyond the wrapping paper and straight into the ways that the characters communicate with one another. Specifically, we'll see how China and her classmates demonstrate key concepts from interpersonal communication. Things like positive face once, alter casting, and the wonderfully blunt, bald on record style. Let's start by taking a look at how China uses politeness and positivity to navigate a slightly awkward gift situation, and how that reflects the concept of positive face once.
Okay, China, your turn to open your Secret Santa gift.
Fantastic and unabridged history of typefaces in the post-Gutenbergian age, Volume 1. Thank you, Olive. Our first communication concept is positive face once. Positive face once can be defined as the need to be seen and accepted as a worthwhile and reasonable person. This definition comes from our current communications textbook, The Interactive Communication in Everyday Life, by Steve Duck and David T. McMahon. Positive face once are dealt with and satisfied quite frequently through verbal communication. For instance, you often hear people say such compliments as, "You are doing a great job," or "How very nice of you." These are addressed directly to positive face once.
Actually, it was for me. China gave it to me last year.
Hey, China, if you get me next year, I would really like that.
Now that we have seen positive face once in action, let's move on to the next communication concept, alter casting. Alter casting is when language is used to impose a certain identity onto someone else. It's a way that communication can either support or reject how a person sees themselves. One important thing to know is that alter casting can be a really effective strategy for getting people to comply with what we want. It works by projecting an identity onto someone that matches our own goals. In other words, placing someone into a specific social role and expecting them to behave according to that role. We see a great example of this when one of the characters hints to China about a gift. They say, "China, if you give me next year, I would really like that." By saying that, the character is putting China into the role of a future gift giver, which is exactly how Turner describes it in her article.
Well, I'm sure my Secret Santa gift is going to be great because Paisley is my Secret Santa. Paisley, where are you? I don't pay you to dilly-dally.
Lexi, Paisley works for Z-Tech, not for you.
Didn't you just hear me? I don't pay Paisley, neither does Mr. Grundy.
You're right. Mr. Grundy doesn't pay me. He just gives me these weird pieces of paper with his name on them. I'm saving them in a shoebox one day because maybe when he's dead they'll be worth something.
Hi everybody, I'm Hannah. So I'm going to be talking a little bit about Bald on the Record. However, alter casting is great for getting to know the people that you're with. So Bald on the Record, in short, is going to be like a person stating exactly what they want to say without needing anything else. So in other words, an example that we didn't picture would be later on in the scene when Angus unpacks the stink rock from Mr. Grundy and says, "Thanks for the stink rock, billionaire." Great example of bought on record. Straightforward statement without saving the person's face. However, one that we did include in the scene is the one of Paisley and of Lex. In the show, these two are kind of pretty much friends, but there's a weird power dynamic going on where Lex is kind of more in power. So Paisley is bringing in this gift that Lex has paid for, and needless to say, she's not being the nicest about it either, saying, "I didn't pay you to dilly-dally," quite frequently, and just bringing up the fact that she's not being paid by her. But, Paisley says nothing.
The Ant Farm episode Silent Night demonstrates multiple key communication concepts, including positive face wants, alter casting, and bald on record. Throughout the episode, you saw an example of positive face wants when China asks Olive for the gift she received again. You saw alter casting when one of the other characters jokingly proposes the idea of China being a gift giver for next year. And lastly, you saw bald on record when Paisley speaks what was on her mind very directly in the moment, saying, "I don't pay you to dilly-dally."
Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays!